I honestly can't believe what I just witnessed. And no, it's not this video that I'm actually going to show you here. We were at Yellowstone National Park the other day, waiting for Old Faithful to erupt, which was actually pretty cool. We've never ever been to Yellowstone National Park before. We've never seen Old Faithful, and it was pretty cool to see the geyser shoot out the water, which there was a huge crowd for. But while we were sitting there waiting, check out this video. It's some crazy nonsense going on. Let me know what you guys think about this situation, because I told my kid if she tried this in public, that'd be her last time out in public. But let me know what you guys think.
I'm gonna bet you $10 that it will blast in the next 5 minutes. You wanna bet on that? It lasts minutes,
But no, for real though, honestly, what I can't believe, what I just witnessed is, and I'm gonna try to show it to you guys, see if you guys can see it behind me. There's a tow truck. Let's see if you can see it. There's a tow truck right there. And there was actually 2 tow trucks, but there's only one now. And the tow truck that was there, besides that one, just towed a car out of this parking lot behind me. And hopefully it's not too loud, because they're doing some construction over there, and hopefully it's not distracting. But they just towed a car out of this parking lot. And ironically, this hotel here has, not only this hotel, but Seattle in general, has been a very, very interesting trip for us. And we've seen a lot of things that we've just never seen firsthand before actually happen while we were here. If you watched my video from yesterday, you'll know what I'm talking about as far as some of the people that were out on the streets, and the substances that were mind altering. I think there's probably a huge methamphetamine or fentanyl narcotic problem here in this city, and it could possibly be perpetuated by the local government. But I hope this guy is jackhammering like crazy behind me. I hope it's not picking up on this microphone. I guess they're trying to build another hotel, which doesn't seem like the economic market here in Seattle is doing too bad, because there are so many people here and so many expensive cars and people out spending money. It's ridiculous. But hey, if you have worked hard and put yourself in the position to be able to do that, more power to you. And a lot of these people here, I think there's a conference going on at this hotel today. We actually we stayed at the hotel because one, there's no great harvest hosts or KOAs in Seattle, and Michelle wanted to do some sightseeing while we were here. Never been here before. But also, it gives us the ability to sleep in a real bed, and that sleeping in the back of the van takes a toll on you after a while. So getting a real bed and a real shower without the campground showers is well worth it every now and again. But the crazy thing is, I saw this morning, I went down to get some breakfast, and this guy was using the ATM. And I came out of the elevator, and I saw him using the ATM, and he left, and his receipt printed out. So I grabbed it and tried to catch him in case he wanted it. But he said he didn't want it, so I was like, whatever. But as I was throwing it away, I realized that the balance said ledger available. I think it said ledger balance was 0. And this is what I was talking about. Like, not everybody's in the same situation, not everybody's in the same position. But if your balance is 0, that's a problem, okay? I mean, literally 0, not a few pennies or dollars. It was 0. And I don't know, maybe what was going on. Maybe it's supposed to be that way, or maybe he just like depleted it down to 0 on purpose. But a lot of people are struggling financially, and just by looking around and seeing what's going on, you can't really gauge how people are doing and what they're doing and what kind of help they need. So if you need help, don't be afraid to ask for it. But that brings me to what I saw earlier, which was the tow truck over here towing a car, and the person actually came running out to try to stop it. Well, what was going on? I don't mean to get sidetracked. I'm gonna show y'all another video. When we got here, this guy was trying to park his Toyota, I think it's a Toyota, next to this Tesla, or Tesla, I don't know how you say it. And he about ripped the side of his car off because he was not good at parking. And I've noticed that a lot here. People here in Seattle are not good at parking in parking spaces and parallel parking on the streets, so be careful. They actually hooked us up and let us park here, even though you're not supposed to park here. I don't know where the sign went. It says load and unload only, no overnight parking. I don't know if you guys can see that, but they let us park here because there's like, look, there's nowhere else for you to go, you won't fit, and we'll just say that you're here with the hotel, and it is what it is. But I'll show you the video of the guy. He about ripped the side of this Tesla off. It was crazy. Person runs out. The tow truck's towing the car. So obviously they didn't request a tow. They're towing the car. So this is a paid parking lot. So I'm thinking, all right, the time has run out. No, not the case, okay? And this is gonna be a growing problem that we're gonna see here a whole lot sooner than later, okay? Now, like I told you, I called it before. We were gonna see some businesses getting in trouble financially, hitting some bankruptcy, and ultimately affecting our economy, ultimately affecting the employees, the business, the supply chain. You know, a business goes down. For instance, let's just say this parking lot business goes down. They go bankrupt for some reason, and like they shut down this parking lot. Well, then it affects everybody's ability to park here, which right now is a lot of employees and construction workers that are working on this new building going up right here, okay? So yeah, you say, oh, okay, well, this company, they went out of business, bankrupt, no big deal, it won't affect me. But it will affect you, because if you planned on parking here to work on this building, then you don't have anywhere to park. You gotta go somewhere else. There, you know, there's a cause and effect. Everybody is linked and tied together in the supply chain. But what we're gonna see, and like I said, I can't tell you exactly when, but it's coming, okay? We're seeing the market shift and flip upside down. Primarily with cars, okay? And hear me out. This is why we're gonna see this happening here soon. And it's because the car market, the automotive market, particularly the lending market, the lending practices, the predatory lending of these banks is about to come to a head. Much like the housing crisis of 2008, 2009, where mortgages were being placed on homes for buyers, unqualified buyers, at predatory lending methods being used through adjustable rate mortgages and 80/20s and no doc loans and all these other things. They come back to bite you, okay? We're gonna see it in the auto industry very, very soon. The car that was being towed was being repossessed. It wasn't being towed because they ran out of time in the parking spot. It was being towed because it was being repossessed. And we're gonna see this more and more as people start losing their jobs. The economy continues to take a toll on them. Inflation hurts, savings gets wiped out, credit cards get maxed out. We're gonna see this more and more. And these auto loans, the problem is that a lot of people were buying these cars like this Tesla here, like this Model 3 Tesla, which are rolling all around Seattle. It's a Tesla Central. We're gonna see these vehicles that they bought overpriced. They were buying them 20, 30% over market value for used vehicles, not even the new vehicles. The new vehicles were getting marked up by the dealers, you know, with additional dealer markups and fees and things like that. But even the used cars, some used cars were selling for more than new cars just because people had them available and they were going up 20, 30, 40% in value and people were paying them. But worse than that, the banks were making the loans and lending the money for people to buy them and finance them. Well, now it's coming to a head and the people can't afford it. And so what happens when you can't afford something, right? So if you can't afford it, and this is what we talked about in previous videos, you guys, if you are in a situation where you can't afford certain things, this is not financial advice. I'm just talking to you like I would talk to my friends and my family. You gotta adjust your budget. So if you own a vehicle that you can't afford, what's the best way to adjust your budget? You know, number one would be sell it, okay? Number 2 would be refinance it, okay? All right. Number 3 would probably be make more money, but we ain't gonna talk about that in this video because every time I talk about making more money, everybody gets upset like, oh, I can't do that, I can't, okay, whatever. Anyway, you got a car, you can't afford it, so you sell it. Well, why can't you sell it? Because you've overpaid for it, that's why you can't sell it. So now if you go to sell it, you're upside down and you gotta come out of pocket the cash to cover the difference in the loan and the value, which you're already upside down on and you didn't have the money to begin with, that's why you financed it, okay? And then number 2 is, all right, well, you'll refinance it. Well, now your credit's probably taking a hit. Jerome Powell has increased the rates, so auto loan rates are going up higher than probably what you bought it for to begin with. And now the banks are looking at it like, hey, this car ain't worth it. You know, we're seeing the corrections in the market. This car ain't worth it, so we're not gonna refinance it for that amount. You're stuck where you are. So now, what are you gonna do? You're stuck with this car that you can't afford. You can't sell it, you can't refinance it. Eventually you can't pay for it, and then this happens. It gets towed, it gets repossessed. And this is the beginning of the automotive industry crash, market shift, market correction that we're gonna see happening more and more and more, similar to the housing market crash of 2008, 2009. And much like 2008 and 2009, smart investors, smart entrepreneurs, smart people who just wanted to get an opportunity at building wealth, jumped into that market, invested in real estate, restored and renovated properties, flipped properties, and made money off of the market shift. Plain and simple. We're going to see that again in the automotive industry. We're going to see it very, very soon. We're going to see more repossessions. We're going to see more bank loan defaults. We're going to see more bankruptcies. We're going to see more credit being destroyed and damaged and tarnished. We're going to see more people losing their jobs, losing their income, going hungry, facing food insecurities, getting evicted and foreclosed on. We're going to see it. Hopefully this is not you. I really do hope it is not you. However, if it is possibly you, let's talk. Let's figure out a way to solve this problem before it gets too big and you're past the point of no return, number 1. And number 2, if it's not you, prepare yourself now to be in the position to invest in these opportunities when they present themselves so that you too can make the come up like people have in the past. Like Graham Stephan in the past. If you ever watched Graham Stephan, look, I don't know if you ever watched Graham Stephan. He's got a channel on YouTube, Graham Stephan. He talks about how he bought a house and it basically cost him no money for the fact that he bought it during the housing market crash. And he got in cheap during the crash, held the property, made a few improvements. When the market corrected and his value increased, his equity increased in the property, he refinanced it and was able to pull out cash, use that money to invest in the market, and ultimately bring him back a much higher return on his initial investment, basically bringing the house down to zero. I'm probably butchering this story, so check out his video. It's probably an older video on his channel, but it shows you how he bought a house for basically zero. And I think that's how he kind of titled it too. But the point is, you know, and even like Grant Cardone, he's notorious for making great investments, 10xing his profits and making tons of money and showing other people how to do it too in real estate, especially in multifamily real estate. But the point is, you got to be willing, ready, and able to take advantage of these opportunities. And when these opportunities present themselves and you're sitting there saying, I can't even afford my rent, I can't even afford my car payment, I don't have a job, I don't have savings, my credit is terrible, you are going to be in a position where you can't participate and you do not have the opportunity to win with everybody else. So please do yourself a favor and do what you can now to adjust your budget, adjust your finances, and put yourself in a much better position to be able to capitalize on what is coming. A huge shift in the automotive industry that's going to allow people to buy up cars for pennies on the dollar. I'm talking about Lexus, Mercedes, BMW, Range Rover, Land Rover, some expensive Ford pickup trucks, some Super Duties, all high-end vehicles. They're about to hit the market. Lamborghini, Ferrari, McLaren, Aston Martin. If you're in that sector and we're about to see a flip like you've never seen before. Porsche, if you want a high-end luxury exotic car, prepare yourself, it's coming.